The Shug, Shane Hollister. Logan, Ineichen. Lyndon, Ehlers. Wrastlin with music and life. For life.
Hey guys, this is literally episode 2 of Wrastlin with Music and Life. I'm Logan Ineichen. And
I'm the Shug, Shane Hollister.
I'm hiding behind the mic. Lyndon, Ehlers.
So we're joined with the new guy, and I was going to give you an intro, but I already screwed it up.
Way to go.
Because I'm not a professional. And again, like and subscribe before I even get on, because I didn't even say that one time in our last...
No, not in all of the 3 hours.
And whoever did subscribe and whoever did like, seems like a lot of people did more than I thought was going to happen. Thank you so much. And we're going to continue.
I think I was the first subscriber.
Oh, really? It's fantastic.
Say it again.
I think I was the first subscriber.
The man. Landers P. Okay.
Before we get too far into this, let's do this real quick.
Let's do this shot.
Because otherwise it's just going to sit in front of me. I'm going to knock it over. Cheers, boys.
Cheers.
Episode 2.
Or ticket. That's not one that you can take as a shot.
Nope.
Not supposed to, no. They're 100%.
They're more like
That's
mixtures.
gut rot.
I felt it in my nose.
Punch me in the dick.
I felt it burn like through my nose.
Woo.
Sometimes you can feel it in your ears too.
I like to chase that with a nice gelato.
That one with the clam juice
Oh,
in
man.
Fuck no.
Oh,
wait,
God.
yes, it
I
is.
was going to say,
It is.
please, no.
Somebody's clam juice.
I like the gelatos, though. I just don't like them with the clam juice.
I didn't even notice.
That's what she said. All right. So, obviously, I'm going to quit looking at the camera because boys are in here.
Yeah,
but it is kind of weird
only
to
makes
have
sense.
even one more.
Yeah.
As I am such an amateur at this and a beginner, and so is Shug. And,
Oh, definitely.
obviously, Lander's done this probably more than we have, actually. I'm just being honest. I don't know how many times.
Not on like
Four?
No,
Four more times?
I've never done in, like, studio podcasts. I've done, like, with Zoom on my phone and stuff, but never...
I tried to do a podcast on mine once, and it was a shitty setup. It didn't make any sense.
Yeah.
Couldn't even edit it. It was annoying. I just gave up. I've done other podcasts.
Yeah. Well, I'm already hearing things that I need to adjust while I'm talking. I'm like, fuck.
Just already, man.
Which is
Because we
fine.
didn't really do checks.
We
You just
didn't
were
really
like,
do
all right,
checks.
we're going to start.
That's kind of what would happen.
Which is fine.
This is going to be an every time thing, I think. We should just have it this way every time. 'Cause
Yeah.
Same thing happened last time.
Which is fine. I actually fixed it in post. I probably should. That's where I need to like calm down because I like actually.
I actually dig the title.
Fix it in
a lot.
post. I just haven't adjusted this microphone.
I was going to call it Wrastlin with technical difficulties.
No, there
Yes,
we go.
Ooh,
there
that
it-
sounds a little bit better.
There. Yeah, you sound way better in my headphones.
Here's the thing: is I haven't adjusted that one at all.
Oh, they're like
yeah.
something you should have did
See?
before we started.
Yeah, see?
No,
Now the third person
I wouldn't
comes
be able
in
to do it
and
because you
changes
have a
everything
different
up.
voice than me. See what I'm saying?
Yeah.
And I've adjusted him as we were talking. But this is kind of what I want to keep in, even on the second episode. And I'm telling you right now, people, this is like the best thing ever. And if I was watching a podcast, and I know a lot of people say no, but I'm just going to tell you, I'd like to see the first 2 episodes of people just fucking up like we
Yes.
just did.
Yes.
But anyway, all right, now that we're at a good level and we can just say that we can all hear each other, right?
Yes, definitely.
I want to start this episode out with a little bit of background on Lyndon because
Yes.
Lyndon and I have met each other how many years ago? About the same.
I was in 9th grade.
Okay, 9th grade.
I can tell you from my perspective. I was in 9th grade, trying to find the auto shop of West High, and you had to show me, or some teacher asked you to show me, and I was like, "Can you just get me with the auto garages?" And you're like, "Come on, man!" Like, and you're a big fucking like. That was when you just walked around in a white wife beater in school
what?
every day.
Oh, what? I thought they're called an A shirt, not a wife beater. You can't say that.
Okay, here we
You
go.
were married and you beat your wife all the time.
I was. But she did a lot of bad things.
Yeah, she deserved it all the time. No, that's how we met. And then, but then really we didn't really become friends until we had a class together later. I think.
Yeah, it was your grandma.
Here we go.
Yeah, just I fucking told the story. I told the story for fucking 15 fucking years, and it's always starts that way.
Yeah.
And
it was a great class, and it was very informative, and it was about podcasting. I think I don't know.
Absolutely worthless class. Nobody needed to do anything. You didn't show up for half of it, and then it just disappeared.
I still got a C, bro. Didn't show up one fucking time. Got a C. Miss Ehlers loved me. I loved her. Anyway,
but yeah, I don't remember you. I was not working, and I was trying to print out guitar tabs for Hammer Smash Face.
Yep.
And you were like, ugh. And then I told you that I played bass and that I could play it on bass. I was trying to learn it on guitar,
which is
awesome.
awesome.
I crapped my pants. I said, "Holy shit!" I think, and I was like, "Dude, you need to be in my band." And
well, you were like, "Do you know Tim Holst?" And I'm like 16. I don't fucking know anybody. Of course.
Right.
Yeah, we know Tim Holst. He's graduated like 3 years ago.
Yeah.
He's literally 50 years old.
You know a guy that doesn't exist in your life? Anyway, so what was cool about that, though, was a pretty much instant bond on music and a bunch of other likes. And our first episode, me and Shug, we basically talked about that we met each other through dislikes more than even likes. We were trying to explain that, and I didn't explain it well. But basically, like, you know, having the same dislikes and likes in music and just life. So either way, it was great. And it was one of those things that, you know, obviously we got into a band together. We tried different things. We definitely, you know, we played a few shows in that band. Two.
Literally two. November 22nd. That was the exact date of the first show we ever played.
See,
I don't remember the year. Was it 2004 or 5? But it was Moline, at the Moline VFW. It was snowing, and I almost crashed into Derek, who I was following, and I didn't know how to drive in the snow, and I almost crashed into him.
Speaking of Derek, I think we'll talk more about like that Dark Rift on a different episode. We're not going to talk about Derek.
No.
All right. Yeah, he's mean. Anyway, we're gonna have Derek on to discuss that more. But I was making this as well. Me and Sugar, absolute garbage when it comes to dates and stuff.
Oh, dude,
Lyndon just knocked out 2 dates, and I'm like, what?
I was getting ready to point that out. I was like, dude, you remember dates? Like, I know other.
No, I will tell you why. I'm sorry, I don't mean to cut you off. I remember why I fucking remember that date is because I walked up to you in the morning. This day at school, in this spot in the hallway, we used to always run into each other in the morning.
Yeah.
And the first thing you said is like, "Hey, we got a show. It's November 22nd," and it was like 2 weeks away. It was not much time at all. Yeah. And they got mad at me at McDonald's. I was working at McDonald's. They got mad at me because I asked for a day off, and they're like, "Oh yeah, fucking give us like some notice." Blah, blah, blah. And I was like, "What?" And I was not ready, and I was terrified. Like right when you told me, I remember my stomach was like.
What year was this?
He doesn't remember. Remember?
It was 2005.
He doesn't remember.
I think I was 10th grade. I think it was in 10th grade.
No, we don't remember Shug ever.
Yeah. Oh, because no, never. Okay, what year did you drop out of high school?
Oh, 2004.
So it would have been 2004.
No, I think it was. Thought it was 05.
It might. It was 05. I'm forgetting. You can't remember dates. It was 2005 because I was in 10th grade. Yeah. That's when I had auto shop. I was in 10th grade. And, yeah. And then you were not in school much longer after that.
Right.
I still saw you at band practice.
Yeah.
But you were just like, nah, I'm just not going to go anymore. Like, big surprise. Thanks, the guy that brings all of his school stuff in an Aldi's bag every single day is not going to keep showing up.
Oh, my God. The fact that you remember that.
Well, no, I'm sorry, but when you see this guy walking around with like you had really long hair then, like and walking around in like this tank top and all your school stuff is just in this fucking plastic grocery bag.
Yeah.
It sticks in your fucking memory.
Yeah, you don't forget
Derek
that.
has the hair.
Yeah.
Right.
So yeah, I remember it is clear as day in my head forever until the day I die. Like watching you walk down the hallway the first time. And then ending up in a band with you and going, I'm not surprised at all that I ended up in a band with this guy. And yeah, so anyways, so back to that. I was like so scared because I wasn't ready. Because I'd only been playing for like maybe 2.5 years. Right. You know? I don't even remember. That is so blurry, but I was not. I mean, playing with you guys made me the player that I am now. Right. Playing with you, playing with Derek, playing with Tim. You know, playing with people that thought they were better than everybody else because we were. I didn't say it. No, you said it every fucking time we jammed. You were like, because we're better than everybody. Like every single fucking time. Well, okay, and yeah. So damn it. I just told Emily the story about how like my first band fell apart because everybody had egos, including me. Yes, because we were kids and we didn't fucking know. Like I thought you guys were adults. No, because I was like 17 and Tim's like 20. So to me, that's an adult. Well, then, you know? There was an adult in the band, but not us. The one and only. No, they're literally. I mean, legally yes, but no. I was saying. High five on that one for real. Oh yes. Oh my god. Yeah, we were not adults and we still are not. Now, currently, we're doing a fucking podcast in a basement. Talking about stuff when we were kids. Right, in my mid-30s at this point. Well, and again, and here's what I guess I do have aspirations to be active is the word. Right. You both are active currently. You play shows, you wrestle shows, and that's going to legitimize me. No, I'm just kidding. No, that's the correct way to think. Yes, it is. Yes. Okay. Well, because there's a point of me, like, the last show I played was literally, like, already, I don't even know. That's why I need Derek here, because he knows dates, but, like, 4 years ago or something like that. The Surreption. No, I think we played, I don't know. Oh, the Metal Fest. You played Metal Fest. Was that after? I don't know. Clearly. But here's the thing, though. You know, obviously, I played a lot of shows without Derek. You know, and with Derek in the late '90s, literally, to date myself. But cover band mixed with originals, and we talked about that last episode. Yep. But again, as much as like I want to keep going with that, you know, we obviously have this bond, right? Shug. When do you remember meeting Lyndon first time? Actually, I met Lyndon in, man, what? Dude, it was, I don't know if I remember. I think, wait, were you in a band with Brian Shakur at one point? Oh, yeah, was it Ben? Yeah. Well, yeah, because so really the first band was me and Brian Shakur and Andy Russell. Yes, Andy Russell. Yeah. That's it, dude. Yeah, we had like 3 names in the time that it was really not even ever a band. Because Disemboweled or Rotted Remains, one of the two. Because of Andy Russell, I found out who King Diamond was. So, right? Dude, that motherfucker is responsible for spreading King Diamond across the Midwest. Oh my God, I'm not even kidding, dude. The House of God album from top to bottom is so cool. Like, and I never. It's my favorite to this day. Yes, mine too. King Diamond. And like, I met him, and he was talking about how you guys were like doing Cannibal Corpse. It's funny how you were talking about Cannibal Corpse earlier, and dude, I was figuring out Cannibal Corpse then. Right. Yeah, and I was like, I'm pretty sure I remember this. Like, I think I met Lyndon like way before. And I honestly, was that high school? That feels like it's junior high, man. You were only a year ahead of me, so we would have been at Smart together. Yeah. I remember seeing you at Smart, but I don't remember, like, talking to you. Unfortunately, they didn't get Smart at all. No, anyway. Frank L. Smart, what do you expect? Come on, man. West End. Junior high school? I still drive. I live not far from that place still, and I see it every day. The box of stupid. You know, like, it's the 3 floors of dumb. The box of stupid. That is the best. But yeah, I remember that, man. And like I remember going, all right, these guys are playing really fast and really heavy, and there's no way I can get my vocals that deep. Holy shit! Like, no, you're right, dude. You came to the shop. Yeah, I did. Came to the shop. So that would have been the first time I actually like hung out with you. Yeah. And was Billy Davis there too? Was he there at the same day?
Dude, I think
He was there one
Billy
time,
Davis
and we
was
all
there.
dogged on him.
I don't remember. Fuck, I don't know.
I don't remember. Like, there was another time you might have been down there, and he was down there, and he was. What did he say? He tried to make fun of me or something. That might not be right, but like Andy Russell's dad was down there, and
Which was the auto shop teacher.
oh yeah. That was
Full circle.
Yeah,
Bam, there
that
it
was
is.
the funniest thing.
Oh man,
Holy shit! I never even really considered that.
that is insane.
Like, because me and Andy jammed in.
But not in a sense because it's a small town after all. It's
Anyways,
a small town,
so-
brother.
Yeah, we jammed down there, and yeah, you were there to try out for vocals, and we were not even a band.
Yeah, dude, and like I look like a complete prep. Like I think I was wearing like a polo.
I love that you were trying out for a band, man. That's awesome.
Trying out for a band.
You know what's
bro.
funny is I don't even remember that bothering me or Andy.
Right.
It was just like
The puka shell
I think
necklace
I definitely had that
did
on.
not bother you.
That's not even a lie. I definitely had that
no,
on.
you know
dude.
what?
That's not even a lie.
You know what? It didn't bother me because I wasn't a dickhead then. I wasn't a dickhead yet.
Judgmental.
That didn't happen until
Oh yeah,
more time spent in high school.
It's perspective, right? You were probably a dickhead.
Well, yeah, later, but not like
No,
I
I'm
don't
just
know.
saying,
I don't
like-
remember looking at a shell necklace
Right.
and being like, ugh.
Well, I'm just saying, like, perspective. It's a matter of, most people would look at you and be like, oh, he has a Cannibal Corpse shirt on. Jesus Christ, what's wrong with him? And me,
Sure.
I said
Right.
that too because, again, I like Cannibal Corpse, but I probably didn't want to wear a shirt. Metallica to me,
You
or
didn't really
Pantera-
wear.
He didn't wear a lot of band
Yeah, I
shirts
did.
at all.
in high school.
No, bro. We just had that conversation when you showed up into every day. What do you
I
mean?
still showed up with like a Metallica shirt ever often, like
Oh,
I wasn't.
Hang on.
That doesn't
Anyway,
count.
Sewed up, super tight.
Yeah. Cut all
How
the
else
deep-
am I going to show off my 18 pack?
Yes, you were jacked then.
I was. As he drinks his blasphemy.
I think this is
Also, I want to say it's blasphemy that he's drinking a Bloody Mary Bud Light because that's disgusting.
no. First off, those.
Disgusting.
Hang on. Those are the good ones, man. The cheladas are awesome. It's the ones with that. Does it have clamato?
It does. We'd already.
Oh,
You don't like the clam
gross.
juice stuff.
No,
I don't
dude,
notice
so
a difference.
gross.
I don't notice a difference.
Really?
No.
Ooh.
I've had real cheladas, sure, or micheladas.
Right.
Delicious.
Again, Shug
it's
likes the
canned.
clam juice.
Oh, well.
It's not that. Anyway, let's get back on the topic. Yeah, we're
Don't bring it back on the rails.
Hold
Hang on,
on,
stop it.
hold on.
Hang on.
We got the origin story. We're gonna delve
So back
deeper
to
in that.
you
Yes.
trying out for vocals.
Yes. And the fact, what was also crazy is Brian Shakur was not as smart, man. He was in Walcott.
Yeah.
He's a Walcott guy. So
Yeah,
like
I was
the fact
also in a
that
band
that.
with Brian Shakur.
Well, but we were all in high school still, or we were in high school. at
Yeah,
this
yeah.
time.
Oh, yeah. I guess it was freshman year. Yeah.
The way I met Brian Shakur was I had a Dimmu Borgir shirt that I had bought at Co-op Records. It was like the dopest shirt I had at the time.
Nice.
Right.
And his girlfriend was into that, and she had saw me wearing that and told him to like get in touch with me and Andy, because me and Andy was always walking around in the halls together in the morning. And yeah, that's when like somehow him and Andy kind of talked, or all three of us, I don't remember, and that's when he started jamming with us, and yeah, it was fun. Like he wasn't like in a position to start, like he wasn't going to be in a band ever.
Right.
Like he was going to work, and he was like, I mean, the dude ended up like owning his own house at like 19. Like
Nice.
so he did shit, and we were kind of shitty with him when he quit. Like, he's like, I'm not gonna jam anymore. We're like, you pussy, fucking bitch. Like we're 18, like you fucking little pussy bitch. Like how dare you? And in the end, you're like, we still talk to him, and he's super cool. He comes to Pit Lord shows and stuff.
Oh, yeah?
Yeah, he's. I mean, he's still the man. Brian Shakur is still the man. He was a really good guitar player too.
Yeah, and it's funny because like not that long ago, I was trying to get my son into wrestling, like folk style wrestling.
Oh, yeah.
And Brian Shakur was there at West High, and his kid does it. So I was like, I hadn't seen him since high school, and I was like,
And then you took him down and were like, I'm gonna mess you up, Ryan
And
Shakur.
I'm pretty sure in real life, Ryan Shakur would fuck me up because he actually does MMA.
It's
and
not
stuff.
even.
He
It's
does
not
all
even
kinds
a
of stuff.
Yeah.
You would just. Anyway, the point is, I love that guy. By the way, Brian Shakur, you're an amazing man, and I'm going to
seriously,
keep
dude.
this in
Rad-ass
because
dude.
for sure
Rad
you're the
as
best. We also played in a band with
I'm
Brian
tagging him in
Shakur,
this.
and I want to let him know that at that time, as a young buck, trying to play Shadows Fall in a cover band, Shadows Fall. We were trying to play Shadows Fall as a cover band,
Well, the
and
first
I don't
album.
even know. Derek obviously had it down, but Brian Shakur, young man, was like, "What the heck? I'll try it," and he did a great job. He was awesome, and I probably sucked at singing that. Horrible, man. I mean, I still suck. Anyway, point is, I want to continue with this maybe later on, especially the origin stories, because boys, we have a lot of them, man.
Yeah.
But I wanted to have a theme of this, and a theme would be the fact that Lyndon is here. Makes a theme because Lyndon is a part of this gimmick that I want to talk
there
about.
it is.
And I want to gimmick the gimmick.
For sure.
That's a little kayfabe. Anyway,
Get some color,
I'm gonna
brother.
get the color, brother.
Get that color.
Get the color on the head, brother.
It's so
Anyway,
funny because only
so-
certain people are going to get that. It's going to be great.
I don't get it.
Should we explain that? or
Yeah,
just-
I'll explain it right now.
Okay.
All right. So
Gimmick the gimmick.
gimmicks also is a thing where I don't even care if somebody gets mad at me because it's already been exposed through the seasons of
100%.
wrestling. So
Nobody's gonna get mad at
anyways,
you. Maybe I'll know.
we're all insane when pro wrestlers, anyways, to try to make things look real or whatever. So we would gimmick our razor blades into our wrist tape.
Oh.
And the razor blade, as you come to find out, because you know that, and is getting color.
Oh, okay.
Color is
Yeah.
So
Wow, I haven't heard those terms in forever.
I know,
I
right?
have heard those. because I did it once.
yeah.
That's a fun story.
Did backyard wrestling, dude.
I didn't mean to derail it, but that is a hilarious
Yeah.
fucking story.
No, we're gonna derail it. Keep going.
Anyways, gimmicks.
Yes, back to gimmicks. Okay, so when we were talking about colors and gimmicks, so we would also call gimmicks like we would walk up to a guy and be like, "You got some gimmicks?" Like sometimes that's a lot. That's widespread. That could mean drugs. That could mean razor blades.
Right,
Like, it's widespread.
right.
So a lot of times we would be like, "You got your gimmick hidden in your wrist tape or whatever." And it's funny because I have a scar for the rest of my life right here.
Oh, shit.
From a gimmick in somebody else's wrist tape when he went to give me an Irish whip. I held on, and then when I jumped up, hit it with a baseball slide or like I did a baseball slide, high leg clothesline, and I'm like, why is there blood just squirting out of my hand right now?
Man.
No idea, but hey, but the character or the guy I was in the ring with was smart enough. I'm like, hey man, my hand's bleeding, and he like knee lifts me, like.
Do you
drops
remember who
me.
it
He
is,
rolls
or
out of
do
the
you not
ring.
want to name names?
No, I will. Eric Cannon.
Ah, you bitch.
So he
Eric
lifts me.
Cannon, I love you.
Dude, he's the best to this
Yeah.
day. So awesome.
PBR.
Runs an
Bubba.
amazing show in Milwaukee. It's the best venue I've ever wrestled in my life. First Avenue in Milwaukee. House that
Nice.
Prince built. Anyways, slams me, rolls out of the ring, grabs a stapler, grabs my hand and shoots it sideways. And then I open my hand up and it just starts shooting blood out of my hand. And I'm like, dude, see, feeling the moment when being smart.
Yep.
Anyways, but
Well, I don't know if Lyndon knows that. Okay, so Shug just hit on feel, but we'll get back to that because I think that we should talk about this. Obviously, I said gimmick to the gimmick.
Yes.
The real word. The real
Listen.
meaning.
Yes, the real meaning.
Listen, there are so many parallels with professional wrestling and music that we have to talk about it, and I have never seen anybody do this. I'm so happy to have Lyndon here, especially
sure.
I wish I would have had him last time, and I said that in the podcast, and I mean it. Most things we say and do in this podcast, we're authentic people, okay?
Right.
So you're going to pick up on that. But Lyndon knows.
Anyway, sorry.
He's running
Lyndon
this gimmick right
knows-
now, man. He's full blown. He's character right now.
He's got a razor blade ready for me. The thing is what we wanted to talk about on this episode to narrow it down, especially on the YouTube side of things, is to talk about gimmicks within pro wrestling. Of course, everything is a gimmick in pro wrestling.
Yes.
But now the correlation is music. So music right now has bands that have gimmicks. One
Right
prime
now,
example,
always.
always. And I want to talk about that. But let's start it off. If you think about a gimmick that you currently know, you go, okay, I don't think about that because I like the music. But some bands are so gimmicky that you literally know it's a gimmick, and you know. And so obviously I'll start off with saying, because we like metal, Gwar. And Shug actually, or just before I met Lyndon, Shug showed me Gwar.
Yep.
You remember that?
Oh yeah, definitely.
Okay.
I remember. This is going to be hilarious because I got into Gwar because of a movie. Remember Empire Records with Liv Tyler?
No,
you never seen that?
No.
So there's this dude.
I've heard of it, but I've not.
All right. So, anyways, movies. It's all right. It's one of those movies where it's like, okay, cool. But
Have you
like,
seen this movie? It's okay.
So, but like, no. Actually, I'm saying okay because I don't want to come off as a schmuck. I
No,
really
no,
like
I
that
feel like
movie.
a jerk because I think Derek showed me Gwar. God damn it.
Yeah. But either way,
Derek, I'm pretty sure you showed me Gwar.
There's a guy working for this record company, and by record company, it's like a record. Like it's not like a record company. It's like where they sell CDs and stuff. So, anyways, this dude's tripping out on like whatever drugs were put in his brownie.
Nice.
And he's just imagining being in a Gwar video. And I was like, Gwar looks cool. So I went out and bought a Gwar CD.
Oh yeah.
So back to, again, Gwar was like kind of the one I can just say right away that everybody knows is a gimmick band. And it's like fucking cool as shit. I mean, even if you didn't like it, you would go to that show and be like, I'm never going to forget that. But we have in studio, I shouldn't even say that, in basement, we have Lyndon. And Lyndon is in a band where the gimmick is Pit Lord.
Pit Lord is the gimmick is grilling or barbecue, whatever. We call it barbecue death metal. I think because that has a better ring to it. But like overall, the theme is just grilling and death metal that sings about grilling. And we just make like references and puns to like other metal, that's been around for years.
I think I call that a gimmick because I say, man, it's really cool that somebody has a theme. And sometimes you can say theme is gimmick.
I think, like, you could say either or. I think, like, gimmick to me a lot of times sounds cheaper.
It does. It's more reliable.
Theme tends to be a little more overarching. It kind of envelops all of it. Like Gwar has more of a theme.
For sure. They have full-blown characters or where they're from and everything.
But that's what we do, too. I mean, we have, like, characters, sort of. We play, these two, like, sort of, like, messengers from the like Lord of, like, grilling, and he just happens to be a metal. He just happens to be a metal fan, and he's kind of greedy and shitty to us. But
I love that.
Like, and like,
I dig it.
That's like, that comes out more or less like in our social media posts, like
than lyrically.
And there's some lyrics, a lot more on like the new stuff that we're gonna release. It kind of popped up here and there when we were writing the old stuff, and it kind of formed itself. Like there's like some random things on the EPs, on the first EPs where it's like we were trying to summon like Beelzebub Barbecue, the Lord
that's
of Grilling.
his name?
Yeah, Beelzebub.
That's
So we got the name
fantastic.
from I don't know if you remember Baron. Mm-hmm. That was
Baron of Harkogan?
No, Mike Robinson.
Okay.
When we first had, we were like hanging out with him and Nate Boyd, I was in Helmsplitter with, and we were playing the first EP that we just recorded and released, and
which you should do again. Great band. If you're going to keep doing other bands, bring back Helmsplitter.
No, it'll never happen.
Oh,
so
I don't know.
But anyways, he told us a story about it. He had this smoker that he named Beelzebub Barbecue, and I looked at him and I was like, that we need to use that. We named a song after it. And then we wrote the lyrics, and the lyrics was like us like trying to like summon Beelzebub Barbecue, like from a grill. and then it grows from there. And we don't. But that's like a theme, I guess. But it was also a gimmick. Like I feel like a gimmick is what we're doing live. We have the grill on stage with like a smoke machine in it,
and you're playing a different character than yourself.
Well, yeah. When I'm on stage,
so that's a gimmick. So a character is a gimmick. I think like Shug can easily explain this, but the character is a gimmick. You have a character on that stage that's different.
I think the word gimmick better applies to something like that. Whereas like what we do is a theme of barbecue death metal. But it's death metal. It is death metal.
It is still straight up what it is. It's not. It doesn't stray away from what it is.
Right.
It's heavy. It's heavy metal. And we use a drum machine just because that's how we liked to do it.
Right.
I mean, and also you don't have a
you, and
drummer.
you guys are the artists. So.
We're the dynamic is me and Dan, and the whole thing was just because Crater wasn't really practicing, and so me and Dan would meet up at his house for practice. That would not end up happening, and then so just one of those times he was just like, I've really been thinking about doing this band,
right?
Where I just like record it and then just release it in new pairs and not do hardly any work,
right?
And it's gonna be like barbecue themed death metal. It's gonna be about grilling. And he's like, I want you to play bass and probably do vocals. And I was like, let's both do vocals and I'll do bass and we'll just record. And then we got halfway through the EP and we just got fucked up and recorded this stuff. Like the first EP, like Meat Demons, is so silly and odd and just over the top because we were just fucked up.
Right.
And it was so fun. And I don't know if it happened like halfway through recording where we started going like, we should try and do this live, or if it was after we released it and everybody started telling us we should do it live. I don't even remember. Right. But it became obvious we were going to have to do it. And then we figured out how to do it live. And like Dan, knowing his recording stuff and live sound and everything, like, he was like, we can do it like this and this and this and have a drum machine. And later on, we evolved to use like in-ear monitors and everything, and everything is programmed. And we did a light show. He programmed a light show. And,
dude,
like it was, I mean, yeah, it's wild. And then when we played we spent like a year kind of like promoting the band and releasing like video stuff and goofy sketches, and then booked our first show ourselves and booked all the bands ourselves and everything at Ribco. And it was like ridiculous. It was like craziest. This is the best show we had ever played in our lives. Like, and probably the best first show any band around here had ever had, I think. I mean, like it was fucking ridiculous.
100% because you guys had experience, literally. I mean, Dan had experience messing live. Both of you guys have been in live bands your whole life, so it's like
most of it. Yeah,
it is experience meets timing. I think with things, just in general. And it doesn't matter whether what we want to do on this is correlate pro wrestling with music because it is very entangled.
Yeah, I was going to go there. Yeah,
yeah. You guys obviously have an influence with pro wrestling as well.
Well, yeah. I mean, brother, I don't know if me or Dan has more. I know like I spent a lot of time like with like you and then like HTW, like Craig Hobart and all those guys, and like that crew and Ben Stock and everybody.
We should do a podcast about that.
We should.
And well, that's where the me doing wrestling once or twice comes in because I was involved in that group.
And I know nothing of that, so I want to hear those stories. Go ahead.
I hate the story. I really hate the story. I hate it.
We can just skip it.
No, we have to tell it. I'm willing to embarrass myself. Like, I mean, it was, but I, having been through that and experienced that, because I was never into wrestling, like, as a kid, although I played fucking No Mercy on N64 a ton. That was like...
What kid didn't, right?
Dude, I didn't even like wrestling, but it was just fun. And so that's, like, my biggest connection with wrestling, and that's in, like, I had this connection with, like, the Attitude Era, because that was going on when I was in, like, elementary school, so... And kids were wearing, like, wrestling shirts then. Which I don't really see. Nope. I didn't see in high school. I don't remember. Like that was when wrestling shirts was, and I feel like wrestling shirts are a big part of me wanting band shirts. Because I was used to seeing that kind of like those kind of graphics on T-shirts and like seeing like Stone Cold shirts. That one with the rattlesnakes.
Yeah, dude.
Like that every other like honestly, the shittiest kids had that shirt. Like the biggest piece of shit kids.
They were
like that
horrible.
kid. No. The kid that would get kicked out of class and then punch every locker on the way down to the principal's office. He was
my
wearing
God.
the Stone Cold
Yeah,
shirt.
he was,
Of course.
And I kind of envied that because I was not that kid. I was kind of just quiet and
Right.
But yeah, man. Like I definitely wrestling and music. And then later on I would realize that the music that I was getting into was very much character based, and black metal is so over the top.
We just brought up King Diamond.
Exactly.
Like,
No,
you know what I
100%.
mean? Like he
Alright.
might have been like a big part of like the face paint and all of that, right? Where he's from, kind of too.
Yeah, I mean, like, sort of. Really, Mayhem. That's still Mayhem.
Yeah.
I mean,
Oh, yeah,
Merciful
you're right,
Fate
you're right,
was
you're right.
Merciful Fate was going on when like Bathory was coming up, and like it was like Merciful Fate, and, like Sodom, and like
That's right.
Venom, but Venom wasn't really doing face paint. So it's a bunch of different. It's really Kiss,
Right,
It's really
yeah.
Kiss. It's really
And-
Kiss. I don't want to give Kiss credit, but it's really Kiss.
It is. It's like Kiss, and then what was the band Slade that laid the foundation for what would become glam metal,
Right. And but then like a lot of those guys were still fans of that, or there was like early influence when they were like kids and the face paint still crept in. So yeah, the arguments there for
Right.
any of them, really.
which makes sense.
So but like I was getting really into that, and like to me, like having that strong character and that strong sort of like maybe not storytelling, but image made so much sense for that kind of music, because if the music's so over the top, why isn't the
person? Yeah,
exactly. And that's why like when like Shadows Fall and like all that American metal really started like blowing up when we were in high school.
What was it? Was it called like the New England metal scene or whatever? It was. I mean, like
right? It was American metal. It was like
metalcore.
It was metalcore before it was like really metalcore, or it was the stuff that was popping up around the same time.
It's also called Gothenburg, guys.
It was inspired by Gothenburg.
Right.
It was inspired by Gothenburg.
But then they took a lot more elements of the hardcore.
Right.
So
it just, to me, while I was still getting into that stuff here and there because everybody was listening to it, the stuff that was heavily character based and image based, to me, it was like that seemed like I guess it just seemed more fun.
Right.
You know, I didn't feel like I was an interesting enough person to get up on stage and just do that and be that and just play music. I wanted to like sell myself as other just another entity.
Right. Because pro wrestling and music have actually had a lot of the same words throughout the life. They maybe they say this is a good example.
Okay.
Do you remember what groupies are?
Oh, for us, we can't even say it anymore, but I'll say it. It's so taboo to say because it's downgrading, but I will say what they used to be called. A woman that came to a wrestling show that wanted to hook up with pro wrestlers was called a ring rat.
I dated one.
Whoops.
Which isn't bad.
No, it's the same thing. Like it's not. I mean, it's the same thing as a woman who comes to metal shows who they look at a guy and he looks like a star, and they're into that. That's their scene. So like a woman who comes to wrestling, that loves wrestlers or whatever, that's their scene. It's like it's looked down upon to call any woman who does anything like that any kind of name nowadays. But there were names that were used. So
well, okay. So Lyndon, he destroyed my whole gimmick thing.
Good.
With gimmick and music, because there are bands that have gimmicks.
Oh,
Necrogoblicon has a gimmick.
Yeah, for sure.
Guar has a gimmick. You said theme, and I don't disagree with that.
There is a difference.
You can also say theme is a gimmick. To me, I feel like the gimmick is loud and clear. Beelzebub, we pray to you. And
good try.
Beelzebub?
Beelzebub.
I said Beelzebub. Beelzebub barbecue.
Yeah.
So I'm pretty much on that. All right. So what again, Necrogoblicon.
Yes, for sure.
I probably said it wrong that time.
Their character is more over than the freaking band themselves, if you ask me.
Is there a reason behind that? Yes, because Necrogoblicon is an amazing band. Their riffs are amazing.
I'm not saying that or not.
I don't go amazing in the sense that like I'm going to listen to it every day. I'm just saying an amazing band, and that they did a lot of really cool original stuff. And I also don't necessarily always listen to Necrogoblicon, is what I'm saying. But John Goblicon,
yes,
is what you're talking about, is so over, and it is a gimmick. Is that not a gimmick? Is that not a gimmick?
Oh, for sure, dude.
Tell me what a gimmick is.
All right, so a gimmick is basically a full-blown character that is not you. Like, to me, like I think
Goblicon.
John Goblicon.
Is he play? I don't think anybody in the actual band plays John Goblicon, right?
He's not even in the band. That's the best part. He's not even in the band. He's
how
this guy.
cool is that?
Well, I think it's way more complicated, and it's more than just. I think Necrogoblicon is probably not the best example because it's such a unique thing.
Right. Also,
it is something that really has never existed before.
So to me, sorry to cut you off. To me, Necrogoblicon is like if you took Iron Maiden's Eddie and made him a person, and he could do interviews and talk.
He can speak.
Like, you know what I mean? He's a full-blown person.
An actual character that exists.
Instead of just somebody that we call Eddie who walks around on stage with Iron Maiden. Like,
Eddie, and for Iron Maiden, it's just like an art piece. It's
right.
He just exists in images.
Yes.
Like John Goblicon
is a full-blown character.
He's a person in a
But
mask.
is
Eddie, literally
Lyndon, is Eddie like almost like kind of a gimmick though?
No.
No.
Eddie's just a big part of the show.
I don't think Iron Maiden necessarily has a gimmick. They got, something about what they were doing resonated and they got popular, just like Black Sabbath did.
Okay, well, what's your favorite Iron Maiden song right now? Boom! You have to do it!
Power Slave. I spent a lot of time learning Iron Maiden bass parts. It was probably the one band I was only ever interested in learning bass parts other than that one Cannibal Corpse song or two. But
Steve Harris is an amazing bass player.
Yeah, Steve Harris's parts are
amazing.
If you're like a young bass player and you're trying to figure out like alternate picking and just like some real basic things, those are really useful things to learn, songs to learn. And Power Slave has essentially, to me, Power Slave has every kind of Iron Maiden bass part in it. It's like a 7-minute long song.
Right.
Also Steve Harris, which I didn't even know at the time, Steve Harris writes most of the stuff. So
like all of the music, basically, yeah.
So like a lot of the songs, learning the bass makes sense because it starts at the bass and then the song is built from there. So it does help you kind of learn, the structure and kind of, it's just, I don't know, man. It makes sense.
Yeah.
And Power Slave was a song I played a lot. And it's got a lot of really interesting left hand parts, that are again good techniques to learn when you're first starting out. And I started off trying to play stupid technical like death metal stuff when I was not really good enough or my brain wasn't wide enough to understand what was going on.
Right.
And then I went back and I got into Iron Maiden and I started listening and trying to learn those songs, and then suddenly that's really when my like ability shot up because it was like learning Gojira or something where it's easier but it's in the pocket and
feels good.
Yeah, it does.
We have a pro wrestler in this house. And,
trying to bring it back, right?
No, I have to because there's so many correlations, and I have done this because I was wanting to be a pro wrestler and a musician at the same time. But one of my things is like you have these. I don't even want to say the word feeling because it's not that. That's going to be another podcast.
Right.
But we have that in the sense that we literally know that you have this guide in a sense.
Right.
And the guide says that you can actually do this. Right. But you can do whatever you want to do.
Right. You can create your own.
I mean, literally, like, why? And I know that sounds like we're off topic, but what I'm saying is in the pro wrestling scene and the music scene, it's the same creatively.
I think I can even build off of what you're trying to get at, and that is with music. Let's even just say metal versus
which is what we love.
Metal and wrestling,
right?
Because really, that's what we're talking about.
Yes.
Right? Yeah, in the long run.
So, metal and wrestling are both heavily saturated because
for sure.
Because both have a lot of like poor working class people. Anybody can learn how to like start wrestling. Anybody can learn guitar and start a band. So there's so many, and then in modern day with the internet and technology, there's so many ways to see different options.
Right.
It's heavily both scenes are heavily saturated across the board.
Yeah.
So you have to have things that stick out. Wrestling, especially, I think wrestling even more so than metal, because sometimes plenty of people will listen to a metal band simply because it's metal and it appeals to their taste in music, right? But wrestling, like a character, you need a character, and a character needs to like grab somebody and be
almost instantly, right?
100%. The second you walk in, that's why their entrances exist. That's why entrances are unique to every single. That's why somebody like Lucky can remember every single fucking entrance.
That's
to every,
true. That's
like
true.
It is so important that literally when you walk in the fucking room, you are different.
Yeah.
Right.
So and it's and in the end with music, it is vaguely the same thing, because you have to grab somebody because they can literally move on to the next thing immediately if you are not interesting enough. And that it just means hooking those 5 people for them to show 5 people and so on. And
exactly.
It doesn't mean that everybody has to like you. It's that like a few people have to really like it or really connect with it, and then it explodes. And like that's to me, that's the same thing between the two. And if you would ask me like 10 years ago, I would not have even considered they
were similar at all.
Not at all. Not at all. But it is. And it's so important, and it's very hard.
It is.
It's really hard to have a unique idea and an approach, and then to commit to it.
Stay with it. Yeah.
Dude, you can have an idea.
Yeah.
You can have an idea. You can be like, oh, this is really good, and then not have the balls to do it.
Do it. Not run with it. Not the full blown.
To think on the fly to do it. Because when I'm on stage, I have to think of stupid shit to say. And I've said shit on stage that I was like, oh, fuck, I better not. Like, I need to not say that next time, because I like to make fun of the audience sometimes, and occasionally that doesn't work.
Definitely say it.
I have fucked that up a handful of times.
Work.
Yeah, no, like a lot of times, like the thing that I play on stage, whatever it is very much like kind of like a heel, because like people will talk in the middle of like our audio clips, and I'm like, shut the fuck up,
Perfect.
Like, so,
we can't even get away with that on our family-oriented shows. I can't even be like, shut the fuck up, idiot. Like, get none of that.
And expand that into the rest of music. I do think it's still important, but I think music is a little more broad and works on more emotional
roller coaster
in
a way. Yes.
You have to hit nerves with music, but with wrestling, it is the character.
Right.
That's the most important thing.
All right. So right from the get-go, I'm going to ask you two guys a question, see if you know this.
Okay.
What are the 2 longest running forms of traveling entertainment? Do you know?
I'm going to guess prostitution.
No,
and,
that's not traveling.
Oh,
that stays in one spot. Think about it.
Always travels.
No, it stays in one spot.
I would say music and combat sports, probably.
Nope. Well, combat sports is close. It's not music either. It's the circus and pro wrestling.
Circus.
The 2 longest running traveling forms of entertainment to this day, because out of the circus is where pro wrestling came from.
Right.
So there were characters almost automatically. Gimmickers. Yes. So gimmicks have been around, a big part of pro wrestling forever. And they've been running around doing this for so long. Again, it is important to have a character to grab somebody But I also kind of have to disagree in one spot with
ahead,
Lyndon in the fact that we still have to go out there and almost tell a story for people to give a crap. Like, obviously you want to care about the two characters, all right? So when you watch a movie, if you don't give two craps about these characters, you're not going to be involved in the story. So there are times that I've made, or the person I was working with have made children cry. Not intentionally, but the children have been pulled into the story so in depth. And that's not even a lie. Like, I
believe you.
Like, I had to go out and console two children that aren't mine, and my son, who was so mad, he told me, he said, "Dad, I want to hit Matt Cage in the face with a hammer." Like, that, again, you can pull people into a story, and if you can do it, like, obviously your character it has to pull them in instantly, because there are new people every time at a show, new faces. Like Lyndon said, you impress 5 people, they tell 5 people, then they tell their kids, and that's where we can't do the part where we're like, "Hey, go fuck yourself, shut up, kid." So, but it is very important a character is important because they do have to believe in you no matter what. So catching them right away is important. So a gimmick that you can run with. Realistically, I'm not even gonna lie to you, I don't necessarily have a gimmick right now. But like the guys that do, I will say this. I'll say this, and I don't give a shit. When you have a gimmick, it is so much easier to run out there and just run off your gimmick. And like, I envy so many dudes, like you said. Well, like, especially
if his name was Cyclown.
I just watched a show in Des Moines, Iowa, where a guy is called Dan the Dad. Not Dan the Dad. And all he did was come in the ring and broke up a pin by pulling the guy's leg off and went like this. And the entire crowd like pointed at a guy. "Nope, you're not gonna win." Dude, it was like every dude in the match got dropped on their head. I was like, dude, really?
Well, so
really,
I totally agree with that because, I would say that a band like our band has it like slightly easy because of our gimmick, right? Because and a friend of mine explained this to me at a show I played, and he said, "You have a built-in audience."
Exactly.
You have as soon as people hear that you sing about grilling, yes, that is correct. As soon as they hear that your band sings about grilling,
gets it.
Literally
a gimmick.
Yeah, shut up. Like,
he did anyways.
As soon as people hear that, they're automatically in, and all you have to do is be kind of good. At least you have to be competent on stage and be entertaining. Right. Bands that go in and are just phenomenally good, like to win people over that way, it is
and we've seen that.
It's like almost typecasting for actors.
Yeah,
right?
no, and I understand, and I'm okay with that. Like, I understand that that's a concept that doesn't make me feel like.
No, I'm not talking about you guys. I'm talking about like guys who are super talented, like you guys and us. We love guys who are really good at music, and it sounds amazing. But that is almost typecasting to us. Like, it's almost like the genre is not as broad as a character-driven, band.
Yeah. I mean, but some people are, and I think there's a difference in people. They're not going to get into a band that is gimmicky. Yeah. There's probably people that don't like us because we're gimmicky, and that's fine.
Yes, it's the same opposite side of the spectrum.
Yeah, and like,
well, I don't like you because of that. I don't like you because you're so goddamn good looking, and I'm over it.
Here we go.
The gimmick is that they're too goddamn good looking.
The sauce is sitting
and we are just over this. Lower your intensity, Logan. Okay. Anyway, guys, this was a great episode with 2 of my best friends in life, and we just wanted to make sure that we wrap this up in a better way, because sometimes we keep going when we should stop. Maybe the sauce did kick in. Oh, it did. Anyway, like and subscribe. So check out the Patreon below. Thank you for watching. And again, I want to end on a good note, a dissonant note. This is Pit Lord conquering the bone. Thank you.